What's the deal, my people? Thank you for joining me on my channel, Panama'S OG Truth. And today, a lot of people ask me, man, what was one of the things that you first learned when you hit the penitentiary? And, you know, like I told y'all before, I was 17 years old when I got locked up, okay? I ended up doing 12 years out of 20-year sentence. So, by me being 17 years old, I'm in the county jail for about a year and a half, you know, fighting my case. Finally, I get my 20-year sentence. Boom, I hit diagnostics. And my cellmate, he was a 44-year-old man. This was his fourth time down in the penitentiary. He was a career criminal, okay? And he asked me, he goes, man, youngster, man, you got some money? Now, let me give y'all a little bit of backdrop on this. When you're in the county jail, you're around all kinds of people. A lot of them motherfuckers that been to the penitentiary before. So they're basically telling you what to expect when you get down there. Now, it's up to you if you listen or you don't, okay? Well, they told me, said, man, when you get down there, man, keep your shit to yourself. People ask you for something, don't give them nothing. Don't ask nobody for nothing, because they're going to expect something in return. So I already had that in mind. I was like, man, I get down there, man, I ain't trying to hear that shit, man. I'm 17 years old. I know motherfuckers going to try to try me. And like I said, I'm ready for that shit. So he's basically telling me, man, be ready when you hit your ideal unit. Diagnostics is just like a transit point. You go to diagnostics, you talk to counselors, you talk to people that want to know, you know, about your crime. Do you feel remorse? They ask you all kinds of questions, right? And with that information, they classify you to a unit, a prison, okay? In my case, maximum security, all right? I hit Beto 1. That's the first unit that I hit. But like I said, before that, you got to stop at diagnostics. You stay out there for about 2.5 weeks. It depends. I stayed there about 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks. But my cellmate, like I said, he an old school dude, 44, 45-year-old dude. And the first thing he had, he said, you got money? And I'm like, man, ain't none of your motherfucking business what I got. He like, nah, youngster. It ain't like that, man. Let me lace you up, man. So he pulls out a commissary list. And when he pulls out this commissary list, he circles a $10.50 leather riding gloves. And he tells me, he said, man, get you these $10.50 riding gloves. And I'm like, for what? I ain't riding no motherfucking horses. He said, nah, man. He said, just get them, bring them up here to the cell, and I'm going to show you what to do with them. So I go down there, and I fill out my little list, and one of the items that I buy are $10.50 leather riding gloves. And they look like this. Just like this. Okay? The only thing that they got the string around here, so when you put them on, you can tighten them up. So I go up to the cell with my leather riding gloves. I take them out of my commissary bag and I throw them on the floor. And he's like, man, let me show you what's up. So he goes and he grabs 2 paper clips, all right, metal paper clips. He opens them up. He ties a fucking wire. Now, I don't know where he got this wire from, just a regular wire. And he had the end, it was real bare. So he had the copper exposed. And he ties them to these paper clips. And he puts them inside the light socket in our cell. And once he puts the motherfuckers in a light socket, he grabs here, let me show y'all. He grabs a chemical gallon, something like this. Okay, and you can see I cut the top off. Because when you first get them, they're like that, okay? And you can't stick no gloves in that little hole. So you cut them, and you get this right here. And the exercise, the people that clean the cell doors, the cell blocks, they can bring you one of these. For a bag of coffee, they'll bring it to you. You just got to get a razor blade and chop that bitch off. Like that, you have enough room. So I grab it, and I tell him, well, what you want me to do with it? He goes, man, throw the gloves in there. So I put the gloves in there. See that right there? Put the gloves in there. And he goes, we're going to grab some salt, and we're going to throw them in there. See? That's your salt right there, okay? So, what he does, he lets the water boil. And like I said, I'm here in the world right now, so I got a stove to do it for me. But I'm going to show y'all, all right, what it do, okay? So now, he pours the boiling water. And he tells me, let that shit sit in there for about an hour. Let the boiling water and the salt do its thing. And I'm like, man, what the fuck is that gonna do? And he goes, man, he said, when you take those gloves out and you put them on the run in front of the cell and you let the wind hit it and that shit dries up after a couple hours and you put those leather riding gloves on and you touch how rough the leather is, he said, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. So what he was basically trying to tell me is, you're gonna turn these leather riding gloves into sandpaper, okay? And sandpaper on leather, you fuck some shit up. So he tells me, he said, when you hit your unit, he said, put your gloves on. In other words, put your pistols on. You ain't got no guns in the penitentiary like I told y'all. So the gloves, those are your pistols. And he said, man, put those pistols on. Have the motherfuckers on tight because they're gonna try you. You young, they're gonna try you. So I was already expecting that. So the gloves, I set them out, let them dry up. And sure enough, when I put them on and I rub my hands on it, they're rough as fuck. Like the leather has like fucking cement on that bitch. It's like sandpaper. And he tells me, he said, you see how rough they are? And I'm like, hell yeah. He said, whatever you hit when you put those gloves on, he said, you're gonna split motherfuckers open like a pussy. He said, I promise you, whatever you hit with those gloves, I promise you, you're gonna split motherfuckers shit wide open. And sure enough, I went down there, I hit Beto 1. First unit that I hit. I had my gloves in my back pocket. And when they try to check me, in other words, to see if I was gonna fight, because when you hit a maximum security prison, and I can't speak for nobody else, I'm just telling y'all where I hit. I hit a gladiator school, okay? Maximum security. The average motherfucker that I was in there with, they had 99 years life sentence, that type of shit. Motherfuckers ain't never going home. So motherfuckers gonna try you. So you gotta be ready. So I'm giving you advice to these youngsters that are out there, like I said, 99.9 chances you gonna end up getting locked up. So peep game, like I said. So I grabbed these motherfucking gloves and I put them on and you can see. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Start doing their thing. So you set them out on the run and you let them dry up. And now you got some leather gloves that the leather done turned rough as hell. Like I said, feel like sandpaper. And whatever you hit, I promise you, you're gonna see the damage. And when I hit Beto 1 and they try to try me out, I had my gloves on. And there was 3. I had to fight 3 back to back to back. And like I said, I got my paper. When I say I got my paper, I got my paper. They got the best of me. Like I said, I'm fighting 3 motherfuckers. But guess what? When I touched them, I left my mark. They already knew this youngster, he ain't to be fucked with. Ain't nothing weak about him. So all I'm telling y'all is, man, peep game, you hit that penitentiary, this is the type of shit you gotta do. This is the type of shit that gets you ready. I don't wish this on nobody. Once again, it's Panama'S OG Truth. I'm just giving y'all a little bit of penitentiary talk. If you out there, get ready, baby. Like I said, man, I was fortunate enough when somebody laced me up and gave me the game. I had my pistols. Ain't no guns out here. The only pistols you got is them gloves. Much love. Talk to y'all later. Panama'S OG Truth. Yeah.